Hi, welcome back to another Snarky in the Suburbs podcast. I hope all of you enjoyed my Thanksgiving special a week ago. And I have a Christmas one coming up. Don't worry about that with some extraordinary holiday newsletters. But my Thanksgiving was good. My daughter came home, so we had so much fun. The food was great, patting myself on the back. Another stellar Thanksgiving dinner cooked by moi. But enough about what's happened. Let's talk about what's going on in this podcast. A Dear Snarky letter, which is going to ask the question, when you should butt into your child's relationship. Like if they're dating someone, should you butt in? Should you talk? Let's say your daughter's dating someone and he's treating her not very nicely. Should you talk to the person that's treating your daughter not very nicely? I don't know. We're going deep. Then in my peeve, y'all, it concerns home goods. And I'm just going to leave it right there. And in my observation is that I think we focus too much on Christmas presents. This isn't a goody two shoes. Trust me, I'm going to get snarky with this one. Then in the confession, my husband and I and our two kids went Christmas tree shopping. This is a back in the day story. It is a snarky confession from the Snarky Confessional. I almost forgot it, but then I went, oh, I got to do the Snarky Confessional thing. I'm going to call it the Christmas tree procurement of doom. It's a funny one. I hope you will enjoy it. I know you're going to enjoy it. So let's get started. Okay. So I'm not reading this letter. It was really long, but I got it yesterday. And sorry, that was my dog shaking his head, her head. She's fine. Don't worry about it. So I get this letter from this woman, and she said that her daughter was dating this guy. Well, back up. Her daughter, she starts from back in the day. So her daughter's dating this guy, and he treats her horribly, cheats, lies, the whole 9 yards. And so they broke up. But then she felt like her daughter was trying to get back together with this guy. So the mom calls this guy into the house, and she's like, look, if you want to date my daughter again, and lays down all these rules, no lying, no cheating, you have to be respectful, all this stuff. And so he agrees and says he's changed, and so she, I guess, allows him to date her daughter. So they get back together, and then come to find out this guy, it's a long distance thing. So he has been cheating on her daughter and actually has a girlfriend. So, I guess it would be two. And the mom writes me, she's so mad, and she wants to go tell this guy off and go yell at him and, let him have it. Like, how dare you treat my daughter that way? And, is that okay? Well, my first response in writing to her was like, are these two kids in middle school? I mean, are they in high school? Like, what are the age? Because this is my take on this, but I need to hear from you because I know I'm a weirdo about a lot of this stuff. If your kid is a legal adult, meaning 18 or over, you stay out of the relationships. You don't go after the person your daughter's dating unless, it's terrible stuff, physical abuse, and you need to extricate your child from that. But you don't get involved in breakups and get back togethers and all that kind of stuff. I go, then you need to stay out of it. And I go, they're broken up now. I go, hopefully your daughter learned many valuable lessons. And then I said, instead of wanting to go after this guy and yell at him and tell him you agreed and you betrayed not just our daughter but our family because you said you would change and you'd agree to all this stuff, I would take that energy and refocus it on my daughter and maybe try to help her understand why she allowed someone to treat her so poorly. And then perhaps she seeks out therapy to not repeat these mistakes, to find her self-worth and then proceed, into the next phase of her life with confidence. I mean, if someone's treated your daughter poorly, I can understand wanting to yell at him. I 100% can understand that. But that ship has sailed. It's absolutely sailed. You need to focus on your daughter so she doesn't, repeat the same mistakes. And sometimes, speaking from experience, you have to learn. You're going to go out there and make a bunch of mistakes. That's what being young is all about. And then you're going to learn from those mistakes. And you're going to learn what you want and you don't want, what you're willing to put up with and what you're not willing to put up with. And I think mamas need to stay out of that. I was even aghast at she set this guy down in her home and like read him the riot act the first time they broke up and they wanted to get back together about like, what her demands were for the treatment of her daughter. I mean, at some point you just have to stay out of it. Once again, the caveat, so I don't get comments, if some horrible behavioral things are going on where you immediately have to extricate your daughter, then you need to do that and, maybe call law enforcement. So we're not talking about this. We're talking about just your daughter like having a shit boyfriend. That's what we're talking about. Do you get involved if they are adults? And I'm going to say no. No. Part of growing up is learning to navigate that stuff on your own. It is making mistakes and it's learning from those mistakes. And I just want to know what you guys think. I mean, do you agree? Do you not agree? I tend to be very hands-off in my children's dating relationships. For instance, my daughter has dated one guy that my husband and I did not like from the get-go. We did not say anything to her. We said a lot to each other and would pitch about him and like roll our eyeballs and stuff like that. But she learned and she ditched him. She's like, oh my God, he was horrible. He indeed was. Nothing major, just like, he was just a goof. Okay. I mean, she deserved better. And he wasn't, he was just, he was an idiot. Actually, he was a very smart young man, but he was a goof. I'm going to leave it at that. So, she's learned. You move on, you make better choices. Her boyfriend now that she's been dating for a couple years, we absolutely adore him. And he's coming for Christmas. He came last year and he's coming for Christmas again. So that's super fun because he is a delight to be around. So that's me and being like arm's length so these kids can learn. Also, and I shared this, I think on TikTok a couple years ago, people went crazy when I shared this. So let me share it again. I never want to meet the parents of whoever my kids are dating, like until they're engaged. I do not want to do it. It's like, you live your life. I don't need to go have mama coffee dates with whoever you're dating. I don't want to meet them until we know it's like super serious. I don't. Like, let's celebrate an engagement. I'll meet the parents. I want to judge a kid 100% on their own. I do not want to judge them on who their parents are. And this came about mainly when my kids were in high school because I saw this repeatedly. It annoyed me a wee bit. So two kids would start dating and then the moms would become besties. They would go out to lunch. They would do couple things together. The husbands would get together. I mean, they became besties. And then the kids broke up. And guess what? You're no longer besties because you're harboring like, well, your daughter treated my son this way or your son treated my daughter that way. I don't want to know anybody that well until it is appropriate for me to know them that well. I just don't want to. I have never met the parents of anyone my kids have dated. I've known them, but I've never gone out and been buddies with them. So there's that. I mean, the person my daughter's dating now, never met her parent. Maybe, at the engagement party. Don't want to. People they dated like in high school, no. I couldn't pick the parents out of a lineup. Although one time I'm on my back porch. I think it was the summer, so I'm sure I was power washing. As many of you know, I love power washing. And this woman shows up, like towards my back porch. I'm like, oh, who's that? It is the mother of a guy my daughter is dating. She's like, yoo-hoo, yoo-hoo, as if I could hear that over the sound of my power washer. But of course, the waving, I of course noticed her. And I'm like, turn off my power washer. I'm like, yeah. So she goes, oh, I just wanted to come over and like, I would love for like you and your husband and my husband, like all get together for dinner. And I'm thinking not just no, but hell no. Most especially since I knew that this relationship between my daughter and her boyfriend on the ropes. Plus, we didn't even like this guy. I'm not going to waste a minute with his parents. So that is the only time I've met someone like that, my kids were dating. And I was just like, oh my God. So of course, I'm just like, yeah, we'll have to do that soon. Yeah. And then, chat took off. But yeah, that never materialized because I'm like, honey, that relationship's on its last legs. The number one thing I don't want to do is go out to dinner with you and your husband. And my husband would be like, we're going to do what? So yeah, no. And then, okay, so then I shared this on TikTok. I think 2 years ago, people came out of the woodwork for me. Oh, that's awful. I was best friends with my daughter's boyfriend's parents and we're still best friends. I think I think that's very mature of you that you can be. I mean, the breakup must not have been major. There must have been no hard feelings if you can still be besties with the person, the parents of the, man or woman your child was dating. That's very mature. No, that's not me. I don't want to waste my time. I just don't. I want my kids to live their own life without me like getting involved, interjecting. Well, when we went to dinner with their parents, I can tell you that family's a hot mess. None of that. None of that. You go live your life. And I think this is because my parents never had any inclination to meet the parents of who I was dating. None whatsoever. They were just like, we trust you, you go do you. But people came after me and said that was stupid and you're not doing your due diligence as a parent if you don't, meet like the parents of who your kids are dating. No. Especially when they're like 18 and over. I mean, come on. I mean, if your kids are dating, I'm doing quotes with dating in middle school, that's a different story. But who would let their kid date in middle school? Not me, that's for sure. So anyways, that's my take on that. So in review, in the comment section, my lovelies, do you think as a parent you should interfere and sit down and talk to whoever your son or daughter is dating and read them the riot act on your sofa in your living room when the kids are legal adults? I mean, I'm like, no. I mean, I would read my child the riot act. Like, why are you dating such a loser? You deserve better. Never have said that, though, because I let those situations work themselves out. So there's a learning curve when you're dating. Because as we all know, if you're a parent and then you start like going in hard on someone your kid's dating or something, then they start making excuses. No, they're great. You don't really know them. So you got to just let that journey happen without you interjecting yourself. Once again, this is the fourth time I've said it, but I have to because people don't listen very well. And I don't want people to waste time typing a comment unless there is like some serious issues going on where you as a parent need to extricate your child. So yes, of course, that goes without saying. All right. Okay, so yeah, we have the dating comment. And then what do you think about not meeting the parents? I mean, how many of you think it's so important to meet the parents if your child is dating? I don't, because I trust my kids to have good sense. So I'm not going to go out of my way to become besties with a parent. No, not at all. And I think it is just me, because based on what happened 2 years ago in the comment section of my TikTok, everyone disagreed with me. But let's see what's happening now 2 years later. Okay, that's it for the Dear Snarky letter. Moving on now to the peeve. Y'all, it's not a major peeve, but it's a peeve that happened over the Thanksgiving holiday where I am concerned. Here is my peeve. My daughter, unbeknownst to me, took my husband to Home Goods. Okay, there are many things my husband does not need to do, and he does not need to walk himself into a Home Goods. They've been gone a long time. I'm like, wonder like where they are, whatever. They come back with a bunch of crap from Home Goods. My husband was like, my daughter, can you believe Dad's never been inside a Home Goods? I'm like, yes, he has never been inside a Home Goods, and he should never go inside a Home Goods. He came back with an ottoman, like a piece of furniture, okay? An ottoman, bunch of wicker baskets. I mean, I'm like, no, the man Costco is his domain. He can go to Costco 3 times a day. I don't care. I do not need him in a Home Goods. Okay? He needs to stay out of a Home Goods. He goes, he'll see something that's a good price and be like, I need to get it. We did not need one single solitary wicker basket. We needed no wicker baskets. In terms of the ottoman, my daughter's like, I saved him from getting a really ugly one. And I'm like, well, maybe you didn't save him hard enough, because what's this? Of course, the ottoman is for his office. Fine. If you want to put that ugly ottoman in your office, that's for you, his home office. I'm like, you go do that, sir. But now I'm scared. I am scared because not 2 days later, he's like, yeah, I think I'm going to stop by Home Goods. I'm like, oh my God, no. And he just doesn't understand. He's not strong enough to resist the urge and pull of a Home Goods, okay? He does not have my years of training where I can go in a Home Goods and walk out not buying anything. He's a baby. He's an infant in this world of Home Goods, okay? He will not be able to resist the pull. I don't need him buying stuff because it's a really good price and bringing it into our home. No, that does not need to happen at all. So that's my peeve. I am peeved at my daughter for exposing my husband to Home Goods. You have to build up years and years of resistance to that. And what if he was at the Home Goods of yesteryear? Speaking of years, remember when Home Goods was like really amazing? Like you would go in there and you would see everything you'd want. Now I go in there and most of the time I rarely buy anything. Because it's just not what it used to be. I don't know if it's tariffs. I don't know what it is, but it's kind of like, okay, let's dive deep into this one. Even last year, I got some really cute holiday pillows from Home Goods and some other cute stuff, like holiday stuff. This year, I went in there and, they've got the holiday stuff out, like, as soon as school starts. I mean, mid-August, they got Halloween and Christmas. Nothing. There is absolutely nothing I wanted. Nothing remotely adorable that I would want. But my husband, being a novice to all this, not having the thick skin, the shopping training, won't be able to resist the pull of Home Goods. And I'm going to have crap in my house, which I will then have to load up in my car and return. We're getting older, my husband and I. We need to be purging. We don't need to be bringing more stuff in, like more wicker baskets. Wicker baskets need to be leaving the house. So that's my peeve. I told my daughter, you have created a monster and I am not happy with you. And it will be reflected in the quality of your Christmas gifts. No, I'm kidding. It won't. But gosh, she goes, well, I never thought about that. And I'm like, you've created a problem for me and I am not happy. It'll be fine. I mean, he mentioned going to Home Goods 2 days after he went. He has not mentioned it in the last couple of days, but I can guarantee you this weekend he's going to be like, I think I'm going to stop by Home Goods. I'm like, no, don't do it. You guys understand that, right? You understand the years of training it takes to resist the lure of something like that. Okay? I hope you do. And he just doesn't have it. He doesn't have it. I'm sure when Home Goods employees see a man like that walking in, they're like, he's going to be buying some stuff. He needs to get the bigger cart. So there you go. Oh, and I had to warn him. I go, honey, you can't buy any furniture from Home Goods. He says, it's good looking. I go, it is, but have you sat in the chair? The furniture is not comfortable because it's not super well made. And for $200 for a chair, it's not going to be. You can't expect it to be. If it is a chair for decorative purposes only, people won't be sitting in it. I go, then you can get that chair. But if it's a chair anyone's going to sit in for longer than 5 minutes, do not get that chair. I love Home Goods. I'm not dissing Home Goods. I'm just saying a lot of that furniture is not for long-term sitting. And if you doubt me on that, you go to Home Goods and you sit in a piece of furniture. And have you noticed the furniture's little elevated stands, a lot of it? That's because they don't want you to sit in it. Because, you're like, I'm not going to have to climb up to sit in this chair. That's uncomfortable. I just feel weird doing that. Because they want you to go, ooh, pretty, but they don't want you just parking your buns in it. So there is my peeve. My observation. Y'all, I have gotten a plethora. That's a fun word to say. Let's all say it together. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Plethora. It has a nice mouthfeel, if you will. Okay, anyways. Still of Dear Snarky letters about Christmas gifts from adults. Okay, let's review. Oh, I have to have a sip of my mango iced tea. I already had my one Diet Coke. And I want another one. But forget about that. Let's review. If you are an adult and you come from a large family, you do not have to buy everybody in your family gifts. Love the idea of drawing names. That's what my family did once it kept on growing, with sister-in-law, brother-in-laws, whatever. Love the white elephant. I mean, you do not have to buy everyone a gift. If you are the type of person that desperately needs a gift, that's your issue. Okay? I mean, you can't be a grown adult and get mad because your family wants to start doing a white elephant. I mean, I would rather spend my money on my nieces when they were little, my nieces and nephews, than their parents. Because you know what's fun? Shopping for kids. You know what's not fun? Buying Christmas presents for adults. That gift card because you're remodeling your house to Home Depot, that was a blast for me to get. No, spend it on the kids. So there should not be all this drama around gifts. And that right there is why Thanksgiving, in a lot of ways, is a superior holiday. There is no gift drama. You show up, you enjoy your family, you stuff your face with amazing food. Done. Christmas, whole lot of family lore and drama invested in the gifts and who gets what and, all that kind of stuff. I have a Dear Snarky letter I got, haven't answered it yet, from a woman who is the only single sibling, and she's mad that they're not doing gifts. Because she goes, I don't have kids, so it's not fair to me. I should be getting gifts. And I'm like, oh my God. Are you 7? I mean, no, just who cares? Don't you reach a certain age where if you want a gift, you just buy it yourself? That would be me. I've already purchased 3 amazing Christmas gifts for myself. One's from the dog, one's from the cat, and one is to Sherry from Sherry. Actually, it's to Sherry, love Sherry. So just buy your own damn gifts, because those are the gifts that are going to be perfect because you bought them. I don't understand that. That is my observation. People just losing it, causing like disharmony in their family over gifts. Absolutely not worth it. And then, of course, you always have families where they give gifts, or your mother-in-law or whatever gives you really crappy gifts. Well, people, I could write, maybe not a book, but more than a pamphlet on that. And we'll talk about that more in the Snarky Holiday Special. When I don't know. It'll be the week before Christmas, so if you're traveling, you can listen to it. So yeah, just let it go. Just let it go. The reason for the season shouldn't be like how many gifts you're loading up in your car after you celebrate the holidays. So no, just let it go. Like, you're an adult. Focus on kids, even if you don't have any kids, like nieces and nephews, whatever. If you want something, go buy it. There's that. Oh, and another observation is people that hate giving gift cards. I can understand that gift cards are impersonal, but if you are over like 10 or 12, you want gift cards. These kids want to go out and get exactly what they want. Like, I would know what to get. Gift cards are great when you're older, too. Like, your brother, give him a gift card to a restaurant. Your sister-in-law, whatever. Family gift cards. If everyone's older, because when your kids like hit 12, those gifts get a lot more expensive. So like, maybe you just need to give them like a gift card to help purchase the gift, but you're not going to buy the gift. Anyways, that's my rant about that. Excuse me. Observation. That was my observation about that. Okay. Now, another drink, sorry. And once again, the only reason I'm announcing what I'm doing is for people that are listening, not watching. So they could be like, what's that clunking sound? Why is she slurping? She needs to stop the slurping. It's annoying. Oh, speaking of annoying, I got another comment on Spotify where I screech. You get excited and you screech. Okay, people, just don't listen. Don't listen. Turn down the volume, okay? I mean, am I a screecher? I guess I am. Excuse me for having very enthusiastic levels of enthusiasm. Excuse me for putting dramatic, effect. I'm acting, people, acting. If I should be screeching in a story, I'm going to screech. You don't have to write me and tell me I'm screeching. Just never listen again. And once I hit my mic, so if the audio was just weird because I was acting and I hit my mic. Okay, enough about that. Enjoy the screeching, okay? Enjoy the screeching. Okay, so my confession from the Snarky Confessional. Yeah, we got our Christmas tree the Friday after Thanksgiving. We always have a live tree. We go buy it at the garden center. Really, really nice garden center. God, I love that place. It's huge. Oh, it's beautiful, just beautiful stuff. So we always take the kids still in their 20s, but we're going to go pick out our tree together as a family, because that's what families do. So we get our live tree, and the price of Christmas trees, oh my God. And every year my husband goes, we just need to get an artificial tree. And I'm like, well, you can get one when I'm dead, okay? You can get an artificial tree, because I love that live tree. I love the smell. I love the needles all over my family room floor, okay? Tis the season. So this is when this story about Christmas tree shopping happened when my kids were really little. My daughter was 5, which means my son was 9, and we had just moved to the Reno, Nevada area. So we lived in northern Nevada, and everyone talked about how you could cut down your own Christmas tree, and you had to get a license, like a license from the Bureau of Land Management, and you could cut down a tree. So like, my husband really wanted to do this, and I'm like, to me, because I have to do so much work at Christmas creating the magic, I'm like, man, it would just be easier to go get a tree. It's like, no, we live here. we are cutting down a tree, man. And I'm like, okay. So he gets the whatever, the certificate to go cut down a tree, the license to cut down a tree. But what we didn't know, because my husband did not do his research, so it's all his fault, is that you can only cut a specific type of tree. And that type of tree was a pinyon pine. I didn't know what a pinyon pine looked at. I'm just thinking, you can cut a pine. A Christmas tree's a pine. Let's go get ourselves a pinyon pine. No, they're hideous, especially in the wild where no one's trimming them and, they're bad. They're hideously ugly, ugly trees. So we've got a 5-year-old, a 9-year-old, my husband and I, we, park on the roadside and start hiking because there's certain areas, so we start hiking up to find a tree. And meanwhile, I'm like, well, I hope we don't get eaten by a bear while we're looking for a tree. And I had to whisper to my husband because I didn't want to freak my daughter out. I'm like, did you bring the bear spray? Do you have a bear whistle? What if a bear gets us? He's like, well, I have a saw. I'm like, sure, you're going to go saw a bear. Okay, that's how we're going to be protected. So we hike and hike and hike. My son at 9, he's always been a champion complainer, and I love that about him. He is like so me. I just adore that about him. So we're, hiking and hiking, and he's like, is this fun yet? Are we having fun yet? And then I was trying, because as a mom, you are the hype queen. I'm like, it's the Christmas spirit. We've never done this before. This is so much fun. Meanwhile, my daughter, who's 5, wants my husband to carry her. And really, we don't carry you at 5. She's like, someone needs to carry me. And my dad's my dad. My husband's like, well, I have a saw. I can't carry you. Give your saw to mom. So and I told him, you need to carry her as punishment for making us do this to find a tree. So we finally get to where these trees are, and they're hideous. They're really, really ugly. They looked like they were related to the Charlie Brown Christmas tree. And I'm like, we can't cut one of these ugly trees down. I go, one, they need to stay with their ugly brethren. They need to stay with their relatives, okay, where they can, rejoice in their homeliness. I go, we're not going to cut it down and drag it down a mountainside and then have like a really ugly tree in our home. I go, I just can't do it. So my husband gets really mad at me. So we go off and a little bit away from the kids and have one of those whisper fights. We're doing this. We came on this way. Where's your spirit of fun? And I'm like, my spirit of fun ended with seeing these hideously ugly trees. Now, a lot of you might say pinyon pines are gorgeous. They're not in the wild, okay? Where we were allowed to cut down the trees, they wanted us to cut them down because they were doing, the Bureau of Land Management a big favor. So we got into it. And I'm like, man, I don't want to have to cut down this tree. I don't want to have to drag this tree down a mountain. I'm just ready to get out of here. So I did what any of us would have done. 100% what any of you listening would have done. Did I care if it scarred my children? No, because I had one goal, and that is to get out of there without the world's ugliest Christmas tree. So I screamed that I saw a bear. I'm like, bear, bear, bear. And so everyone freaks out, except my son, because he is me. He is a little snarky. He knew exactly what I was doing. He just kind of looked at me and gave me one of those half smiles, like, Mom, you're busted. My daughter gets upset. My husband throws down the saw so he can pick her up. I get the saw, and my son is leisurely walking behind us. I'm like, Austin, come grab my hand. And he's like, yeah. He knew at 9. He was on to me. I think he was on to me probably by age 3. So, we're jogging, son, leisurely walking. He wasn't even walking fast. And I think he was humming. So I'm like, Austin, stay up. So I grab him and we're going down the mountain. I have to act, people. I have to act to make this seem real. I have to seem terrified. So then we get down, we get to the car, we get in the car, and my husband starts the car, and then my son, because he is me, but yet he has a loyalty to his father that is disturbing, okay, me, because he knows what I'm doing, but then he busts me in the car. He's like, there was no bear. He goes, there was no bear. Mom just said there was a bear, so we would leave. And he goes, and we laughed, so it works. He's like, good job, Mom. And my husband is so freaking mad at me. And I'm like, he goes, did you make that up? Well, at that point, I have to confess that I did. I can't I'm not going to keep on playing the lie. I mean, I got my kids. My son already knows. So I go, yeah. I go, because the trees were ugly, and I know that was the only way I would get you down the mountain because you think you're Paul Bunyan Jr. and you weren't listening to sense. You had a Paul Bunyan fantasy, and you were going to cut down that tree. Didn't matter if it was hideous, and I would not allow it in my home. I mean, it's just, I go, I had to do it. I had to do it. And luckily, because I have the world's, I mean, my husband's he's pretty awesome. He just starts laughing. So we drove all the way down the mountain, went to the garden store, got a beautiful Fraser fir tree, got some hot chocolate, and we had a beautiful Christmas tree. And there's that. There's my confession. The problem is I could be like the little boy that cried wolf, but I've never said I've seen a bear before. I knew I made a calculated risk that if I said bear, no one would ever believe me again. But I've never said bear when indeed there wasn't a bear. So, yeah, that's my story of chopping down a tree. Climbing up a big old mountain. There wasn't a trail, people. You're having to hold on to the trees to, like pull yourself up. You got your children. You're protecting them. I had to do it to protect my children because we need to get down that mountain, get to the garden center to get that tree because we need to start decorating. So that is my confession of I didn't see a bear, but I got us a really nice Christmas tree. I had to weigh it. The pros and the cons. It was all pros in my book. My son has a history of ratting me out to his dad. I admire his loyalty. I do. But it's infuriating at times. It is infuriating. He just knows me so well. My daughter, honestly, I don't, because, mothers and daughters, I think she knows, but she's just not that vested. She's like, Dad's just going to figure it out. My son, I think he feels some male loyalty to my husband that he needs to tell him, Dad, Mom, no bear. So anyways, there is that story. I'm going to have Christmas stories every podcast. I cannot do 2 podcasts a week in the month of December. Too slammed, too busy, can't do it. If things calm down, maybe you'll get a surprise one. But for sure, I'll do one every week. I want to thank you guys for listening. Oh, and y'all check this out. Okay? If you're watching, I'm doing a beautifully wrapped 5-pack of Snarky books. If you need a white elephant gift, please. My books are superior to white elephant gifts, but whatever. Most of them, I think 3 out of 5 are like $10. Great paperback. If you have a friend that loves to laugh, if you have like girls that get to lunch, like a Christmas lunch and exchange gifts, the Snarky book is the way to go. They're so much fun. It's a fun read. It makes people happy. Like that's the best compliment I get when someone says, oh, your book really made me laugh, or your book made me happy, or it was a great escape, or, I'm going through some stuff. A couple of times, y'all got tears. People wrote me that like they were, one lady said she's going through chemo and she would read my books while her chemo treatment, and it made her laugh. And I'm like, oh my God, like I'm tearing up right now. If I could make someone laugh, just it's amazing. So if you're looking for a great gift, or my favorite, gifting myself, just go to the show notes, link in bio, click that, take you to the Snarky universe, click buy my books, audiobooks, ebooks, paperbacks. Go do it. It will be so much fun. Again, thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for buying my books. Thank you for leaving very nice comments about me. And, even the person that told me I was shrieking, still, thank you for listening. Thank you for listening. And I actively tried to modulate my voice this podcast. So if you noticed and you enjoyed it, if you're like, shriek, baby, shriek, just keep on shrieking, sister, let me know. But I love you all. Like, seriously. Snarky family. We're a little snarky squad. Let me know. Leave comments. We learn through the comments. Okay, you guys go out and have an awesome day because, of course, you're awesome. Go do it.